So hi guys, myself Akshay, and I'm going to present some information about ferromagnetic domains. So these are some of the features of ferromagnetic domains that I am going to discuss. So before going to the ferromagnetic domains, we must know some things about magnetism. So magnetism is basically a purely quantum mechanical phenomenon and mainly arises due to spin of electrons because the mass of electron is much more less than the other proton and neutron, and we know that the magnetic dipole moment is inversely proportional to the mass of the particle. So this magnetism can be classified into three types, that is diamagnetism, paramagnetism and ferromagnetism. But in case of diamagnetic and paramagnetic materials, when there is no external magnetic field, the magnetization inside the material is zero. But in case of ferromagnetic material, even if there is no external magnetic field or the external magnetic field is removed, even if there is uh, uh, magnetization inside the material. So this phenomenon of ferromagnetism has been explained on the basis of molecular magnetic field hypothesis and can be inferred by exchange interaction. So this is the exchange interaction for two electron system where this H is a spin Hamiltonian and J is a exchange integral. When this J is positive, the ferromagnetic ground state is energetically favorable. That means when J is positive, the space part of ground state wave function is antisymmetric. Therefore, by the Pauli's exclusion principle, the spin part has to be symmetric. For J less than 0, the antiferromagnetic ground states are energetically favorable. In this case, the space part of ground state wave function is symmetric, therefore the spin part has to be antisymmetric. Okay, so in case of ferromagnetic materials, the ground state is a triplet, and in case of antiferromagnetic material, the ground state is a singlet, as shown in this figure. So the for in ferromagnetic materials like iron, cobalt, and nickel, the inner 3D electrons are unpaired, and in the material, the 3D electrons of adjacent atoms align themselves parallel to each other by the phenomenon of spontaneous magnetization. Okay, so this alignment of magnetic domains occur in a microscopic region which are called as magnetic domains. So these are different magnetic domains in which these magnetic dipole moments are arranged in same direction. In this magnetic domain, the magnetic dipole moments are arranged in this direction like this. And these different domains are separated by the domain walls. These are the domain walls. So when we apply the external magnetic field to the ferromagnetic material, initially the domain which is having direction parallel to the external magnetic field will grow in size. Okay, as we increase the magnetic field, the domain will grow in size more and more, and when we keep on increasing the external magnetic field, there is a rotation of domain takes place. But we can see that in the region of rotation of domain, the slope is less. Therefore, the energy required for rotation of domain is more than the energy required for the domain growth. Therefore, therefore initially the domain growth takes place. Okay. And when we remove this external magnetic field, some of the magnetic domains will try to align themselves in a original position or original alignment because of the thermal energy. So these are the features that I just discussed. So when there is no external magnetic field inside so there are different domains which are oriented in different direction. So when we apply the external magnetic field in this direction, we can see that the domains having orientation in this direction will grow in size, and the domains having opposite direction will shrink in size. Okay, and the domain wall moves like this. When we increase the external magnetic field further, the domains in this direction will increase more and more in size, and the domains in this direction will shrink in size, and the domain wall moves like this. So this structure of ferromagnetic domains is basically determined by different types of energies. So the potential energy inside the domain is minimum when the magnetic domains are parallel to each other, and this happens when the exchange energy is positive. That means when the exchange energy is positive, the potential energy inside the domain is minimum. But because of the this dipole, there is external magnetic field around it, and because of which there is a external potential energy associated with that external magnetic field, which is called as magnetostatic energy. Okay, so this is the domain, and this is the external magnetic field, and there will be energy associated with this external magnetic field. And we can see that when we increase the number of domains, like this, in this picture there are 2 domains, in this picture there are 4 domains, the strength of this external magnetic field decreases. Okay, the strength of external magnetic field is decreasing, therefore the magnetostatic energy decreases. Okay, so to have minimum magnetostatic energy, the number of domains should be more and more. So in case of ferromagnetic polycrystalline ferromagnetic material, there are different grains which are having different orientations, and in this crystal there are different crystallographic directions. So the saturation magnetization mainly depends upon these directions. Okay, the amount of external magnetic field which will be required to have the saturation magnetization in that direction in the material is dependent on the direction, the crystallographic directions. We can see in here for BCC ion, in the direction 100, the external magnetic field required to achieve the saturation magnetization is much less than that of the external magnetic field required to achieve saturation magnetization in case of 111 direction. So for BCC ion, the 111 direction is said to be hard magnetization direction, and 100 is a easy magnetization direction. Okay, and we know that for polycrystalline material there are different orientation grain wise. So to orient all these grains in the direction of external magnetic field, all these magnetic domains all these domains in the direction of external magnetic field, we need to do work against this anisotropy, and this energy is called as magnetocrystalline anisotropy energy. Okay, which is associated with the anisotropy of the material or the anisotropy of the crystal. So we can see here there are 2 different domains having exactly opposite orientation, and which is separated by this domain wall. So just like in case of polycrystalline materials, we know that different grains are separated by grain boundaries, but the change in orientation along these grain boundaries is abrupt in case of grains. But in case of domains, the orientation along the domain wall is not abrupt, but it is actually gradual change in orientation. So there is gradual change in orientation along the domain wall in between 2 domains. Okay, and this width of this domain wall mainly depends upon the anisotropy energy and the exchange energy. So for 2 domains which are different, which are having small difference in their orientation, will have small exchange energy. Okay, for small exchange energy, because of this exchange forces, the domain wall will be more, and because of the increase in domain wall, the orientation inside the domain wall are much more in this case, and therefore the anisotropy energy increases. So for low exchange energy, the anisotropy energy is more, and for more exchange energy, the anisotropy energy is less. So the total energy or the sum of these 2 energy varies like this. Okay, and has minimum at this particular wall width called as optimum wall width, and which is of around 100 nanometers. So when we apply external magnetic field to the ferromagnetic material, there can be a change in the dimensions of the material. Okay, and the energy due to the mechanical stresses created by the magnetostriction is called as magnetostrictive energy. So we need to know what is magnetostriction. So when we apply external magnetic field, the magnetic dipole moments will, or magnetic domains will, try to align themselves in the direction of external magnetic field. So there can be a repulsion or attraction in between this in between these dipole moments. Okay, because of which the bond length varies, and due to the variation in the bond length, the dimension of material will change, and this change can be calculated on the basis of strain, or we can calculate it by calculating the strain, which is called as magnetostriction. Okay, and the variation of magnetostriction for various ferromagnetic materials is given in here. For cobalt, nickel, the magnetostriction is negative. But for iron, the magnetostriction is positive for some region and negative for some region. Okay, so iron shows some different characteristic. So now the effect of magnetostriction on the equilibrium configuration of the domain structure of cubic crystalline material. So in cubic crystalline material, these triangular domains are favored, which are called as domains of closure. Okay, so this is the configuration for negative magnetostriction, and this is the configuration for positive magnetostriction. So when there is a formation of domains of closure, that is triangular domains, the magnetostatic energy, that is energy due to external magnetic field, is minimized. Okay, so we can say that for larger domains, the potential energy is minimum. Okay, or the magnetostatic energy is minimum. Okay, so total energy will be minimum, but this is not the case, because for larger domains the magnetostriction energy is more. Okay, so if we have more and more domains, the magnetostriction energy is less, but as there are more domains, there will be increase in the area of domain wall, and consequently the increase in the domain wall energy. Therefore the domain wall energy increases for more number of domains. So to have our uh, to have equilibrium situation, the sum of domain wall energy and magnetostriction energy should be minimum as a whole. Okay, uh, so for having the stable structure of ferromagnetic domains, we need to have uh, the total of magnetic energy, that is the sum of all these energy, to be minimum to achieve stable configuration. These are the references I have used. Thank you.